Hello, good people of the world. Mr. Popper here with a discussion video. I'm gonna see if I can get back in my FGC kind of content, and been hearing some talks about the good old Hitbox. I thought I should just weigh in my 2 cents, being a official Hitbox player myself. So, I'm gonna weigh in my sense about it, stir up some drama, pour gasoline on fire, all the good stuff. I can set down my big ol' heavy box. So yeah, everyone likes to call it the cheater box. And yes, I am technically learning professionalism. Learning a bit of the Rumbleverse while I'm at it. Might throw this on the channel. But yeah, the cheater box. I can stand my drink. And I can just... okay. So I'm kind of figuring out this game, just see if I want to throw it on my channel or not. But, let's get into it. So is the cheater box cheating? I'm gonna tell you it's not. Basically put it, anything a hitbox can do, a stick can do. And some people are like, multiple directions. And I hate to tell you, with the official hitbox company, has SOD CD cleaner, so if I hold back and then hold forward, I get neutral. So I can't really hold two directions at once, essentially. And what makes this interesting is, however, on pad you can do that. So it's always interesting to see the debates on, what controller's fair and what's not. And sure, Hitbox makes it a bit easier to do certain inputs and stuff, but you still have to essentially learn it and get used to it, just like with anything, like a pad, a stick, Hitbox. Still just a learning curve where you have to learn how to play, use it, do techniques. I guess techniques and skills, So like, techniques like in Tekken, like the backdash or the the good old Mishima wave dash and stuff. I'm just kind of looking at the city. It looks pretty nice. Kind of getting used to the game's mechanics and stuff. Oh, cool. I climb like the Hulk. Fantastic. But, I guess the fact that it's like, there's still a learning curve to like all of them. So when I switched from pad to hitbox, since I do play in tournaments and stuff, it took me about, I think, 3 to 4 months to get used to it and get comfortable with it to play with in tournaments. And I forced myself to play through it in tournaments. And yeah, you do a lot of screw-ups. It's like a new learning experience. It's like going from like pad to stick or stick to hitbox. You have to essentially learn how to get comfortable with the controller. And the reason why I switched, if you're wondering, is because I'm technically a piano player, so I use all my fingers. So it's kind of a nice little fit. But I'm going to talk about some things that some people don't normally talk about with the hitbox. I'm gonna, I need to find a scenic view. Here we go. Yeah, perfect. Nice scenic view of my little gumball, I guess. I don't know. So, of course, when you play, move around with these buttons here. And then, of course, you have square, triangle, X, circle, and all that. And then a couple extra buttons on the side. But some of the things that people don't talk about from a official hitbox player like me, playing on 2-player side sucks. Because when you play Tekken, if we're pretty much thinking of this like piano, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for count fingers. The reason why 2-player side sucks is you're using essentially your forefinger a lot, which causes your hand to cramp up essentially. So building the muscle, and even my hand still cramps because doing like Mishima Dash or whatever movement I'm doing, it's like I'm using this finger quite a bit and it causes my hand to cramp up. So the other thing a lot of people don't also talk about too is, sure, quarter circle turns are easy, you just press 2 buttons to quarter circle turn. And then doing halves, you just press the 3. But funny enough, I challenge anybody to try to do a full circle, or basically do Jack's Death Punch, where you have to do 5 full circle inputs. Is doing full circles on this and keyboard is actually kind of hard and takes a lot of practice to do. I can't even do it. I usually get about 2 to 3 jack swings and then I mess it up. So, but yeah, doing full circle inputs is really hard. So there is that, things people don't really essentially talk about. But, and then the other thing I want to talk about, just a simple thought, just for anyone just to kind of mull over a little bit. When you think about essentially pretty much the top players 1 through 100, and you think about what controllers they're playing, I want to tell you there's probably only the exception rule is Smash, because everyone plays on a Nintendo GameCube controller. And then you might have 1 or 2 players that play on the Smash box or whatever. It's essentially the same concept for other games too. So like, Tekken for example, a good majority of all the players are essentially stick players. And then your next category that's popular is pet players. And then you probably have like maybe 1 to 5 hitbox players, maybe at best, that are in the top 1 to 100. I mean, it's just not essentially popular to see a hitbox player really being in the top 1 to 100 usually. That's kind of the point I'm finding interesting that nobody talks about, is the fact that, essentially a lot of your top players, like for Tekken we have like, Super Akuma, but that's just 1. I haven't seen really anybody else get up to that level with the hitbox. And I guess a lot of people have fears because there's some pros that are deciding to actually switch, who are in that top 1 to 100 that are deciding to maybe make the switch. But I mean, they're still like practicing and figuring it out and how to use it. It's a time investment and a real money investment too. You're spending about $250 on a hitbox, taking a couple months to get comfortable with it, and then putting it all on the line for a tournament. It's like, dang. But, to anyone who says it is a, cheap box or you're losing to a hitbox player, if you're blaming someone's controller for your loss, you're kind of a scrub. Just saying, Because to a fighting game, there's a lot of things that go more than just the execution side. Like, sure, execution is somewhat important depending on the character you play, but also the gameplay, decision-making, matchup knowledge, the mind games. There's so many factors that go into a match, and if you blame the controller, you're kind of a scrub. And if anyone thinks it's really that easy to win with a hitbox, why don't you just, buy it yourself and make top 8 then? And if you can't do that, then shut up. Like, seriously. I mean, if you want to talk that smack, you gotta kind of prove yourself. So, buy a Hitbox, make top 8 then. Actually, I would like to see a random do it and not some of the pros, like I said, that are in the top 1 to 100 players, or 2 to 3 too, because, like I said, Tekken has a lot of really good players, so a lot of them can potentially make it pretty high in tournaments. That's the same with other games too, like Street Fighter and all those others that have a huge pool of top players, and it's like a crazy bloodbath to make top 8. So, that's just kind of my thoughts and stuff. And it does get interesting, And I guess an interesting discussion would more be like, should we actually ban pad? Knowing pad has certain mix-up potential. It doesn't have an SOD cleaner, so you actually can do 2 inputs and actually make certain pad mix-ups. But some people it's the weird claw technique, Because they're kind of using, the forward pad button and then this R3, L3 button to do mix-ups. To where they can go 2 opposite directions and do mix-ups, playing charge characters, and essentially kind of cheating, Because the game never intended for it, so... it's also a little bit on the developers too to make sure the game is functioning like it's supposed to. Because to me, if a 2 input's not supposed to exist, then essentially the program itself can cancel itself out. So the controller should never have to be an issue. For older games, that's a little more of a different discussion, but as long as it has an SOD cleaner, it's fine because it'll only input one way, like a stick. So if people want to go to the true arcade ways of using sticks. So, anything a hitbox to do, a stick can do. So, and sure, some things are harder or easier on either one. But yeah, I'm always curious to see where this goes and what the future holds for us hitbox players, mixbox players, or heck, the cross-up, which I haven't seen yet. It seems like somewhere unicorn, because I still haven't seen a cross-up player at all. So, at least from looking at my local tournament experience, going to Combo Breaker, Frosty Frostings, heck, even Evo once. So, it is what it is. And hopefully this video isn't too bad of a rant. I'm still getting used to making content and stuff, so I'll get better at it, Maybe have some Rumbleverse gameplay too, and try to get back into the FGC side of content. Pretty excited for what the future holds. As a former Hitbox player myself, PhD and cheater. And yeah, I think I said all that I needed to say, So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hopefully it wasn't too messy. Maybe I could do a little bit better, but I might try again later. Who knows? But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. Mr. Popper, and I am out. Gonna learn this Rumbleverse game. Have some fun. So yeah, peace.